You don't lack intelligence, you lack visibility. Because the problem is not what you know, it's what you see. Two people can look exact the same situation, the same data, environment, and the same opportunity. And they can walk away with a completely different outcomes. Not because one is smarter, but because one sees what the other misses. Think about this. Have you ever looked back at a decision and realized the signs was there? You didn't see them. Most people think intelligence is knowing more, learning faster, having more information. But that's not intelligence. That's storage. Real intelligence is what you notice and what you ignore. Because the world is not lacking information. And actually, they are overloaded with it. And when everything is visible, unfortunately, nothing is clear. So the question is not how do you become smarter, is what are you trained to see? Every second, your brain is filtering reality, deciding what matters, what doesn't, and what to ignore. Most of the people don't control this. It runs automatically, based on habits, emotion, and even past experiences. Which means they don't see reality. They see a filtered version of it. In 1999, cognitive psychologists Christopher and Daniel, they conducted the famous invisible gorilla experiment. They asked people to watch a video of a student passing a basketball and count the passes. In the middle of the video, a person in a gorilla suit just walked right through the frame. Half of the people watching, they never saw the gorilla. Why? Because their attention was locked on the counting the passes. This is called inattentional blindness. When you are focused on the wrong thing, you become literally blind to the obvious. This is where difference begins. There are 4 layers of real intelligence. The first is information. Everything have access. You got news, data, content. This is not an advantage because they are everywhere. Layer 2 is attention. What do you focus on? Most people focus on urgency, noise, reaction, while others focus on structures, patterns, and signals. Layer 3 is interpretation. 2 people see the exact same event. One sees the problem, the other sees positioning. This is not intelligence, this is interpretation. The last layer is position. This is the highest level. You don't just see differently, you place yourself differently, where your perspective becomes an advantage. And this is where it becomes dangerous. You have seen this before, highly intelligent people still making bad decisions. And you could ask yourself why? Because intelligence without structure just becomes noise. More information without being filtered creates blindness. Think about business world. Blockbuster had all the data on Netflix. They had the intelligence, the market research, and even the numbers. But they filtered the information through a lens of retail store, not a digital platform. They saw the data, but they missed the pattern. As the management thinker, Peter famously said, the most important thing in communication is hearing what isn't said. The same is true for intelligence. The most important thing in observation is seeing what isn't obvious. They don't try to see everything. They remove most of it. They ignore noise. They focus on patterns, timing, positioning. They don't react to events. They observe how events are forming. Cognitive psychologist Gary spent decades studying how experts like fire commanders and even chess masters make a split-second decision. He found they don't analyze every option. They use pattern recognition. They have trained their brains to instantly recognize the structure of situation and know exactly what to do. They don't think faster, they see clearer. So, how does this change for you? Not by learning more, but by seeing less. Reduce noise. Stop consuming everything. Clarity comes from subtractions. Change questions. Instead of asking what is happening, ask what is forming. Look for patterns, not events. Patterns repeat, event distract. Reposition attention. Where you look determines what you see, and what you see determines your outcome. The world doesn't hide opportunities, it hides them in a plain sight, inside patterns most people ignore. Sherlock Holmes told Dr. Watson, "You see, but you don't observe." The distinction is clear. So look at your current situation, not what you know, but what you are noticing. And ask yourself, what am I focusing on? What am I ignoring? And most importantly, what is already in front of me and I have not yet chosen to see? Intelligence is not about knowing more. It's about seeing the difference. Because in the end, the people who wins are not the one with the more information. They are the one who see what others don't and position themselves before everyone else notices.